streaming. Put this on Facebook. Put this on Facebook. And share. And here we go. We are streaming. And we're going to wait for people to get here, and hopefully the audio is working. Is it? Oh no, I gotta make it public. All right, sorry about that. It wasn't public. Gotta change them settings. All right. Let's see who's going to be the first of y'all to get here. We shall see. What's this? Ah, that's really funny. All right. Okay. All right, people. Let's see. I'm gonna have to be blocking heavy on this stream, I think, because it's one thing on Twitter, but here when people interrupt me, it's annoying. So we're gonna have to wait for a second for people to get here. See, give them a minute. Oh, sirens! There's a fire. There's a fire. There is a fire. Yeah, this has been a fun weekend, and I want to tell you guys the whole story from my perspective, because I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll enjoy it a lot. So it's only saying 14 people here. It's interesting. 88 people. It went from 14 to 88. I'm not kidding, from my angle. That is so funny. I haven't said anything yet. I'm just waiting for there to be 100 people here, and then I'm going to tell you guys the whole story. I'm just seeing 88 so far. So I'm going to give it a sec to catch up. Catch up. We did that stream already. We're not doing another catch-up stream. 126. Okay, wow. Okay, here we go. Hey guys, so let's talk about this whole insanity. There is a refresh. Oh, I hit the live button to do refresh, I think. Okay, so let's do the recap of what happened this weekend. I had an idea. Here's the thing, like with growing any audience, or any business or any situation, it's a very dynamic process. I was a business major, as some of you know. So the idea that like what to do if your business is successful, there are so many phases, and within these phases there are sub phases. It's a whole situation. So at this current phase I was at, before I would, if someone had something interesting to say, I would quote tweet them. And then someone told me, I forget who it was, and I apologize if they're on the stream, that people, especially like the Krasenstein brothers and some others, what they do is, as soon as Trump especially gets a tweet up, they get in there and have a comment. And then they're at the top and they get a lot more engagement that way. I'm not that big on, these little tricks as a rule. At the same time, I do know that when you reply to someone as a verified user, Twitter, I don't know if they still do this, they have you at the top of the replies. The replies are not in order. So what I started doing, I thought to myself, okay, as an experiment, and it's with the social media, one of the things people often ask me is, how do you not get upset when all these people are after you? And it's like, if someone, first of all, 99% of people on Earth, far more than 99% of people, will never know who the hell I am. So there irrelevant one way or another, and I'm irrelevant to them. Just, I mean, we do not know of each other's existence. That's fine. Then, out of that, let's say even less than 1%, there's going to be people who are largely indifferent or mildly dislike or mod like. That's fine too. Who cares? It's a big world. You want to watch something else? Go watch something else. That's great. You don't want to eat sushi? You want to eat pork chops? Wonderful. Enjoy. So, oh, Miles. Hey, Michael, loved your tweet on Trump. There's a pack formed called Stock Po. Oh, my God. That is so funny. Who's texting me? Oh, God. So, again, I don't regard Twitter as interacting with human beings, and I'll give you guys even more proof of this. People on Twitter don't act like human beings. There is no scenario where you're at a party, and let's suppose you're at a party and someone has really disgusting views, just really awful views. You would never tell them, drink bleach. I hope you never have kids. You're ugly and disgusting. That would never happen. Louis C.K. had this great bit about this. I don't know how to drive. But he was talking about how if he's driving and someone like cuts him off, he's like, I hope you die. And it's like, wait a minute. I'm not sure I'm getting the metaphor right because I don't know how to drive again. He's like, you tested my reflexes slightly, correctly. And as a result of this, I hope you die. And he's like, what if you're in the elevator and someone jostles you? And you look down and you go, I hope you die. Like, I mean, how insane would that be? And it's the same thing on Twitter. Like, people are comfortable saying things that are completely demented. And also when they see other people doing it, it's like, okay, it's safe for me to bare my fangs. It's mob behavior. Gustave Le Bon's book, The Crowd, talks about this. So I don't look at it as human interaction. I look at it strictly as a data thing, right? So I'm like, okay, being enough of a nerd, math person, I'm like, let's try the levers, A/B testing, see what works, see what doesn't. It's also a good way for me with the live streams and the super chats. So people were like, all right, we want to chip in for a drinking show. I'm like, okay, let's if I'm getting the money, I'm going to do something with it that is going to have the person who sent me money feel that they got a return on their so-called investment. So for example, someone who I was on Twitter and someone said, I love you. And I said, prove it. And they PayPal'd me $500. Some of you may have seen that. That money is paying for a trip to Philly, and I'm going to live stream the whole thing. So it's not just going in my, like, and another thing, I had that thing, should I get this book? I'm going to do a live stream about it. Someone paid for half. I'm going to tell you guys a story of why this book I'm getting is so historically important, and it's going to be of interest. So there's got to be, you're getting input, you've got to have the output. That's my perspective, okay? And that's, I think it's ethical, and it's also good business. And frankly, if it wasn't for my Patreon and the super chats and things like this, I wouldn't be able to do this. Like, I mean, I'm fortunate that a lot of you guys have jobs or whatever, and you have to really be paranoid about shit online. Whereas with me, I'm the one kind of out in front and center, and people are contributing, and hopefully I'm putting on a good show to some extent. So I'm like, all right, let's try something. Did Mark Dice come after me? What's going on here? I'm not seeing this. Okay. So I'm only seeing the super chats. I'm sorry, guys. I've got a lot to get through, and I want to explain it. So it is a merino shirt. Thank you, Will. That's right, baby. Brooklyn, baby. So thank you so much, Will. So one of the things I try to do is, I'm like, all right, what would happen if next time Trump, Anna, you are so nice, but you're also not. Okay. So I'm like, the next time Trump sends out a tweet, let's see what happens if I get in there quick. My joke, hey, Ben, John's the best. He's a good friend of mine. He's a good friend of mine. Thank you so much, Ben. Oh, yeah, Darren, I completely get it. Exactly. I completely get it, Darren. You're smart. There's no upside for you. It's only downside. So I'm like, all right, what's going to happen if I get in on this Trump tweet? I got this joke from RuPaul's Joseph Staley. Oh, hey, Joseph. Yeah, I would looking forward to it. I would actually be fun to go around Houston. One of the things that'd be fun to... Oh, God, Sammy. The blue Statue of Liberty shirt. It's expensive. I forget where it's from. Let me tell you. I got it for cheap, but it's like usually $400. I got it for like $80. Let me tell you. Where did I get this? I got it on eBay. It was used. It's Kenzo. It's Kenzo. It was $60, and it usually like $400. It was like I found it. It's $400 usually. That Statue of Liberty shirt. It's Kenzo. Kenzo. It's a very expensive brand. I got it for $60. Thank you. So on Drag Race, there was the season 9 finale, and it was Sasha Velour versus Peppermint, and Sasha did an amazing fucking job. And on the YouTube comments, somebody wrote, "Hello, police. I'd like to report a murder." And I thought that was so fucking funny because she just wiped the floor with her in the lip sync. So ever since then, I've stolen that, yoink, appropriating gay culture. And if someone has this is not unique to me. You know, if someone has this amazing tweet, you're like, "Hello, a 911, like to report a murder," or like "man down," or things. It happens all the time. It's very common. I'll often retweet someone, like I do this all the time to Ann Coulter. I'll be like, "Hello, 9/11. I'd like to report a murder. Yes, tall, leggy, blonde. Oh my God, send someone quick. It's bloody." I've done this for a very long time. And it's not at all unique to me. So Trump tweets out his insane tweet, and I get in there, which is the equivalent of saying savage or "I'd like to report a murder." Oh my God, he just killed her. And I'm getting heat for that because I'm at the top. And I'm like, all right, let's see what's happening here. So they're coming at me. And here's the other thing with Trump, and I've mentioned this many times. He is invulnerable because he doesn't give a fuck. I mean, that much is clear. He doesn't give a fuck. And he doesn't give a fuck in a bad way as well. It's like he obviously doesn't really care that. I don't feel that he cares that much about his job as, let's say, Obama did. I mean, he's not someone who views the government as a means to recreate society. So if they can't get at him, you have to go after the people around him. They go after Don Jr., they go after Kellyanne, they go after a lot of people. And the same thing the other direction. If they can't go for a Barack, they're going to go for Michelle, or they're going to go for Eric Holder. It's all the same. It works both ways. And so they can't get at him, they're going to come at me. Then, so I'm fucking Neo, I'm bouncing off these tweets. And the thing is, these people whose knee-jerk is to attack Trump, the originality of attacking Trump is nil. It's absolutely nil. So then, I forget who it was, and I apologize, because there's been so much, chaos this weekend, as I'm sure you guys have seen. And someone goes, Don Jr. just posted your tweet on Instagram. And I thought they were kidding, or kind of, whatever, I don't understand. And I look, and there it is. And I'm like, okay, holy shit. And then, Jay, thank you very much. L'chaim. So then I'm like, all right. Now I'm like, what the fuck? Is the stream too slow? It's saying it's live. It's good stream health. I don't know what to do if the stream is slow. Can someone tell me? Do I have to change the latency or something? Okay, stream's fine. Okay. Thank you. So, okay, wow. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, great. So, then, it's Daniel. No, you can call me Mike. It's just when people are chummy and call me Mike, it's like 2 for 1. So they'll do something like, "Hey, Mike, you wouldn't block me just because I'm criticizing your wardrobe, would you?" "Yeah, you're 0 for 2, dick." I don't mean you, Daniel. I mean, go off, King. Thank you. I will. So that's what I mean. It'll be like a combination of excessive familiarity with the comment and also with the name. People can call me Mike all the time. I don't care. Congrats on snagging a Jake Tapper. Who? A someone? So then the gates of hell opened. I've never had a um, Streamlabs is on. It should be on. Let me see. Oh, I got your live chat. Hey, Deirdre. Okay, you didn't send any comment. Okay, well, thank you. It doesn't notify me here. I have to open another window. So the gates of hell open, and outrage, 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 outrage. First of all, the idea that he capitalized trail for no reason is insane. That's what Britt Hume said. Oh, Trump. Why would you just capitalize a word in all caps if you didn't have some significance to that word? When Trump said, "I'll see you, Elizabeth, on the campaign trail." Like, seriously? Here's the other thing. I'm going to defend the left. Their claim is you shouldn't make fun of genocide. No one's making fun of genocide. However, there's something to be said that when certain subjects are being regarded as glib, they lose their sense of awe in a negative way. I'm not on dual monitor, no. So there's something to be said for that. Has Trump been exhausting his options in order to declare a state of emergency? I don't think he's going to declare a state of emergency. I think they sat him down and said it's not going to happen. That's my very sincere opinion. So they, it's the gates of hell open. They're coming at me all weekend. It's really funny how, and I have a couple now of Twitter threads where I update them, where as soon as someone doesn't like you on the left, you're a fag, you want to suck Trump's dick, etc., etc., and it's like you are having these homophobic comments. This mess topped the Berlin Wall thing. Thank you so much, Joe. I aim to play. It's only going to get worse. Isn't that great? Happy Merchant. I don't. So I actually, for the first time ever, I took my phone with me to the gym, and I'm batting it off in the gym in between sets. I got a good workout in yesterday. Good. That night, I went to. There was something called the Queens of Compound Media, a stand-up set. I gotta tell you, first of all, if you have a group of like 6 stand-ups, the odds that they're all gonna be great is almost 0. I mean, it's not gonna happen. Then 6 female stand-ups, I was like, they were great. They were fucking great. I gotta tell you, I was so impressed with these women, one after the other. So it was a great night, and then my cell phone had to be off. And while that's happening, I'm like, The Hill, and I finally realized why an earlier article had referred to me as a conservative radio show host. They literally confused me with Michael Savage because of the names. And it's really, really funny how the human mind works. Like, it's a synonym, so the writer brain is like, oh, okay, they're all in that space. That I'm the same, yeah, I'm basically a conservative here, a constitutional conservative. So, and The Hill did it again. They called me Michael Savage. Even though my name was right there, because I was saying, because Don Jr. said Savage. I would like to ask you all, please, when someone is coming at me and calling me a Nazi or an anti-Semite, don't let them know that I'm Jewish. Let them fucking dig their own grave. Don't help me. Attack them on their ideas, but don't run interference from me on that issue. Let them talk. It's hilarious. Let them, oh my God. Also, you hate immigrants. English is my second language. I wasn't born in this country. I am very, very glad I'm an American. It is, so please, when they're like, oh, you fucking hate Jews, you're a Klansman, let them talk. Draw it out of them. That's how trolling works. So, yeah, don't name the J. Yeah, exactly. Don't notice. Yeah. And it's all, yeah, so so that's been fun. And I got to tell you, a couple of people who I've trolled or have come at me respectfully, and it worked out nice. Oh, hey, Michael. I'm in Twitter jail for tweeting Learn to Code. Would you please tweet at #FreeDickman? I don't, okay, sure. What do you want me to tweet, though, as the tweet? It's going to make me, I don't know. What does that mean, free dick? It sounds like I'm giving out free dick. Can you, I'll retweet something of yours when you're back on. Is that a fair deal? Okay. Oh, fuck yeah, Roman. Thank you so much. Thank you. At any point, did you worry about which people were getting involved? I did not. Here's the thing, and I've been talking to. Here's the thing. Um, I have been. I regard this as training, like leveling up, right? When you are going to be a bigger figure, people are going to come at you harder. I've seen this with a lot of the big names I've worked with at Fox and so on and so forth, right? That I've been on panels with. So this is me kind of like climbing the ladder, patience Monty, climb the ladder kind of thing. So I am watching how they act. I'm watching how they react. As I was reading, it was funny. So the um, whatchamacallit, I did the audiobook on Friday. Let's talk about this. I did the audiobook on Friday, and the copy editor came in. Not the copy editor, I'm sorry, the head of the audiobooks. And no one's read The New Right yet. Tom's not read it. Tom Woods hasn't read it. No one's read it besides the editors, the copy editors. So I've gotten very, very little feedback. And he described the book as a polemic, which I thought was very, very interesting. It's interesting to see how an objective outsider will respond to your writing because you have no way of predicting it ahead of time. So polemic was an interesting choice of words. Let me just check to make sure there's no more live streams coming in. Okay, there are not. We're good. So as I was reading it, I was wondering how it would be perceived by the corporate press. And I have no idea, to be blunt. I suspect it's not going to be that bad because I do clearly have the same popular culture perspective and sensibility as many journalists. There are lots of references. And for example, there was this lesbian who came at me today. She was calling me ugly. And people attacked her on her looks, which I don't like doing. I think that's shitty and unfair. And I said to her, someone attacked her in her looks, and I defended her. I said, I like her look. She looks like she's giving me Del Martin. For those of you who don't know, Del Martin was one of the founders of the Daughters of Bilitis, which is the first lesbian rights organization from the 50s. Very lesbian looking. And when she saw that I knew who Del Martin was, she's like, wait a minute. Because our first reaction, looking at sometime in 2019, I don't know what that means, Joseph. When she saw that I knew who Del Martin is, it's like, wait a minute. This isn't some hick, redneck, idiot, KKK cartoon that you have of Republicans. God forbid someone think I'm a Republican. She's like, okay, I don't know where to put him now. So there's a lot of references in the book because that is my culture. I'm a Brooklyn person. I adore diversity of culture. I adore low lives and all that stuff. Thaddeus Russell, I totally agree with him. His book is an absolute must read. Please interview Ryan Dawson. Why do I know that name? Hold on. Thank you. Oh, Joseph. Yeah. Wait a minute. Oh, okay, cool. Ryan Dawson. I don't know who he is. Oh, no, I'm not going to interview him. No, there's no way. So, what was I saying? So yeah, that is something I'm thinking about regarding the book. And again, when people, if you were, I'm just some asshole on Twitter. If you were some idiot who comes at me, you're not going to be good. You're going to be weak with your insults. And it's not going to work. I'm going to be able to bat it out of the park, let's say 9 times out of 10. And they're not prepared for that because in their minds, they have this idea that they saw some 80s movies and they're going to give a speech and the villain's just going to stand there dejected and everyone's going to put them on their shoulders and applaud. And that's not what's going to happen. Because why would I care? Like, why would any of you care that someone you've never heard of, whose avatar is a dog, says you're a piece of shit? Okay. Has there ever been, I'm sure there has been a time in your life where you're in a crowd and someone in that crowd thought you're a piece of shit because of how you're dressed. And they were right. Okay. Great. You're not even in the same state as me. Why would I care? So it's something that it's a lot of fun. And then watching all the breathless media reporting. What was amazing is that all the articles, to their great credit, correctly said Trump makes a joke. And they're still flipping the fuck out. So it wasn't even like Trump endorses genocide. It was like Trump makes joke. And I'm like, oh, okay. It's a new low even for him. How is let's suppose this he actually was, quasi serious that genocide wasn't a big deal. How are you reacting to this with the same way that you reacted to what you saw as children being kept in cages at the border? Like, how are these two things even remotely comparable? And yet the reaction is exactly the same. Oh my god, I can't believe it. Which is worse? Ask the kids. It is absolutely amazing. I'm glad that I've been able to keep up. I've had to block very few people. I'm surprised. The only ones I block are... I muted a couple who were just really blasting. They were like totally on my jock, and I knew that would drive them crazy. They might still be on my jock. I don't know. Remember the famous adage, the progressive cries out in pain as he strikes you? I don't think that's the exact adage, Roger. What was I saying? Yeah, it's just amazing and absurd. But here's the other thing to realize. All of you understand that there is, I'd say, a 90% chance that the president was chuckling about my tweet. 90%. So thanks to your support, the trolling is coming from inside the White House. No, so I muted some people. The ones I had to block, again, the ones that really bother me, not in a triggered sense, but in like a clutter, because my feed was, I had to really be quick with the feed, because I went to the gym, and I'm just, Donald Trump Jr. posted one of my tweets on Instagram, and hell broke loose. That's it. That's literally it. If you go to look at his Instagram, you'll see it. And the ones that I had to block, there was this one lady, she's been on my jock for a while, and it's just like, you suck. You're lame. It's like, okay, I get it. You're not... This is literally like... You know what that is? It's like a see and say. You pull the string, the cow goes... Moo! And it's just whatever. So it's like, okay, I get it. You're banal. It's the banality that drives me crazy. And that drives me crazy with like, I don't need to see this. If you want to be aggro, that's fine. Because why not interview Ryan Dawson? Ryan Dawson is great. Because I'm a Zionist. Hardcore Zionist. You blocked me for yeah, and I'd do it again. Yeah, Trump may invite you to the White House. I've already had imaginary conversations with Trump. I'm not gonna lie about North Korea. I know exactly what I would say to him if I was ever in the White House. Listen, it's not impossible. It's not impossible that I'm going to be invited to the White House at some point. There's a non-zero chance. I would say there's a 20% chance that Don Jr. starts to follow me, and then I could DM him. Am I wrong? It's not at all remotely unlikely. So, yeah, that's where we are. In terms of numbers, I haven't kept track. I'm sorry. Of numbers of how many people followed me over the weekend. And I gotta tell you something else. A lot of people have asked me, how do you handle all this negativity? I would say there's more support than negativity. Because the negativity is basically one note. You suck. You should die. It's not you should die. It's like you suck. You like genocide. You suck. You like genocide. You're not funny. You're irrelevant. It's dun dun on the piano. Meanwhile, a lot of you motherfuckers are hilarious, hilarious, and you are running interference with them in such funny ways. And also, when you support me and are like, "Hey, keep up the good work," or like those compliments are often very unique and different from each other. So those register as like 100 comments, even if I'm getting 200 insults, because those insults register as one note. So it's actually far, far, far more positive in terms of emotional impact than it is the negative, even though statistically I wouldn't even be able to tell you which is more, yes or no. And I also have found that a lot of people, and thank you all for putting your money where your mouth is, a lot of people like that I am fucking not backing down. I'm making a fucking stupid one-liner, and you get to watch a show, and basically I'm the one taking the bullets, so to speak. To quote Papa, so to speak. So yeah, it's win-win. And yeah, that's my kind of thoughts on the matter. But there's nothing even to back down. And here's the other thing. I haven't even had to play this card yet. I don't think there's a single person on Twitter who has done more to inform people about the North Korean genocide than me. Everyone knows about the Native American genocide. It's well known. The North Korean genocide is not known. I'm the one talking about it. I haven't even had to play this card. So if you want to talk about the track record of fighting genocide, I got the receipts and I got the clips. Any talk of Nightshade getting more than 30 minutes? No, that's not happening. Thomas Sowell, I'm a huge fan. Go look at my Goodreads. It's goodreads.com, I think, /Michael Malice. And there's 2 that I read. No, there's you'll see the 5-star ones. Those are the ones. What was your big tweet? I don't go to my Instagram and you'll see it, or my Facebook. I can't remember it verbatim. Do you think being from New York has influenced your attitude on anonymous criticism? I don't think it's. I wouldn't know, right? I'm one data point. I think. No, I think it has to do from having an internal locus of control. If you read Ego and Hubris, which is $90 now, but ever since I was a kid, I have never let strangers get to me because I guess my superiority complex. Like and RuPaul even says this. RuPaul says, it's a lyric. It's like, if they don't pay your bills, pay them bitches no mind. If someone I don't know or I've never met doesn't like me or is criticizing me, why could I possibly care? Because the other thing, the criticism is not framed in a way that is receptive to me receiving the criticism. It's like, sometimes it's even worse when it's like supposed to be like concern trolling. It's like someone I had to block. I did block this person. Michael, I like you, but this trolling really takes away from your reputation and people take you less seriously. Or you could go fuck yourself and I do what I want. And I'm having a good time. And humor is a very effective tool. So thank you, Bullet Sponge. It's been really entertaining. Did you pick up followers? Oh, fuck yeah, I did. I think a few hundred. I'm not sure. A ton of followers. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's the idea, and here's the other thing that's really awesome is that I had just read the chapter for the audiobook Defending Dark Humor. And I did it in the context of North Korea. And the example I used was, I knew a North Korean refugee, acquaintance of mine. And he got to high school here. He escaped. And he was talking to people, and they were like, hey, remember when we were kids, we had Pokemon? And he goes, oh yeah, except instead of Pokemon, I watched my dad starve to death. That's the example I used in the book. And I go, has your dad ever starved to death? Have you ever been so hungry that was an option? Are you going to tell him that's not funny? You have none of us, thank God, have any concept of what that's like. We can't even begin to wrap our heads around it. It's might as well be like, oh, do you know what it's like walking on the moon? We have no idea. So you're going to tell him that's not funny? Fuck you. So it's the same kind of thing. It's like, who are you to tell anyone how to deal with tragedy? It's really the other one. Another example I used in the book. There's 2 more. Bonnie McFarlane, great comedian. She was roasting Jim Norton. You're an inspiration, Mikey. When's Moderate Dave Smith coming on? He's coming on Tuesday. This Tuesday. 2 days. This other Bonnie McFarlane was roasting Jim Norton. Hey Nicole, thank you, Nicole with an H. Thank you so much. She was roasting Jim Norton, and she said, "Your show is so unlistenable. I'd rather hear my daughter drowning." Now, she is a mom, and she is a comedian. So are you going to tell her get a new job, or are you going to tell her you don't love your daughter? Your book comes out May 14th. That's correct. Thank you so much, John. Are you going to tell Bonnie you're not funny, or you don't love your daughter? You've never met her daughter. I promise you, Bonnie loves her daughter. I've met her daughter. She's a sweet kid. And Bonnie's a sweet lady. Who the fuck are you to tell her, no, you can't make jokes like that? Or you don't think kids drowning is funny? Is there any mom on earth, like, well, okay, there's a lot of bad moms besides fucking Casey Anthony. Most moms, Megan, that's pretty funny, thank you. Yeah, I'm losing my hipster status. Most moms, the idea of a daughter drowning is just like, don't even say that. Don't even put that word into existence. The fuck? So, again, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, one person who came at me, we made nice. How's it feel to be named someone now? Yeah, I feel like a real American. One person who came at me was like, look, my dad was a Native American, and he's dead, and this really fucks with my head. That's perfectly fair. That's perfectly, and this hurts my feelings. That's fair. That is a valid perspective. There are certain things that I will never be able to laugh at. It just won't be funny to me. It'll, like after a certain point, if you've been traumatized by something, it's just like poking a wound. And that's fair, and that's valid for that person. But at the same time, it's like not everything is about you. So you have to be able to be like, this hurts. I wish my dad was here, but this isn't about me. So and you could also understand that if someone is making a joke about it in theory, sometimes they don't care in real life. That's fair, but sometimes they do. So and Joan Rivers is another one. If you watch her great movie, work of a body of work. Oh, I just got that. It's a pun about plastic surgery. If you got her movie, someone was yelling at her about her act, and she goes, it was her about being blind or deaf, and she goes, my mother was blind or deaf. Don't you fucking tell me. You watch it, and the fire from her, she's like, how dare you? How dare you? Aw, nothing loves me. That sounds about right. So, the other thing I'm very excited about with this book is what I like to do when I read a book is where there are all these references to people or other books that I can kind of be an intellectual detective. I'm like, oh, what's this? Who's this person? Or there's an aside. I don't know who this is or this movie or whatever. And it's like, I've tried to drop a lot of those breadcrumbs throughout this book in the sense that you can read it and be like, oh shit, let me follow up with this, or let me follow up with that, or let me follow up with this. So that is something that there's a lot of in my book, which is going to be, I'm reading it and I'm falling in love with it all over again. Yeah. Joan Rivers is in there. There's a lot of fucking like asides in there. I'm being a real good hipster, and being like, you probably haven't heard of it, because there's a lot that you haven't heard of. So that's where we are with all that stuff. The idea of me backing down. Ayn Rand had this great quote. I think it was in her book Dracula, and her quote was, "I'm not brave enough to be a coward." And she knows when you back down, it's not going to be easier for them. Or for you. They are never going to stop, and now they've drawn blood. It's piranhas. You absolutely have to stand your ground. Especially shit like this. If someone was, and that's the other thing, if someone was Native American, I'll hear them out. It's valid. So anyone else, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. And especially when people who aren't Jews are telling me you shouldn't be making these jokes. Fuck you. Where were you in the 40s, in the 30s? Good Lord. So it's not even an issue for me. It's not even a question. And again, it's because I have my Patreon and I have my shows. If I didn't, I'd be scared. And I would be right to be scared. So that's where we are. With all that stuff, let me see if there's anything else I want to cover. Who's texting me? Oh, ha ha ha. Ha. Do you think you get Leonard Peikoff on your show? I almost certainly not. Um, so they're calling you evil Casey Neistat. I'll take it. I've been called worse. I don't think he's ugly though, right? Isn't he normal looking? Yeah, I do like kind of look like him. I can see it. Eh. So I can kind of see it. Anyway, so that's where we are with this stuff. I think it's really funny. The other thing I like is, and a lot of you are saying to this in the tweets, is once I point out, like Neo, or I guess Morpheus, certain behaviors of them, and then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy as you see the script being played out, it's kind of like, holy shit, these are not human beings with minds. Thank you, Hysteric. I never saw that color for the super chat before. Um, so, it's here's the other thing, guys. Um, it's only gonna get worse. I mean, my audience is growing. My give a fuckness is decreasing because I'm getting more and more support from Patreon, and which is gonna end. I'm gonna go to Ruben's thing anyway. Um, and these are such obvious jokes. And here's the thing: it's perfectly, perfectly legitimate that people are like, that's not funny. The thing is, if you see a joke on Twitter that's not funny, or anywhere, which I'm sure you see every day, all of you, is your response, or is it like, change the channel, I'm bored, change the channel? Of course. I mean, most of my tweets are stupid. It's ridiculous. So, that is why you can't take that kind of stuff seriously. Because it's like, this is not, your words are not matching your claimed approach. You are not acting like you just think, oh, this isn't funny. You're acting like, I don't know what it is, but it's not well adjusted, sane, rational behavior. So that's why I can't take it seriously. Nor is it people I know. So if it was people I knew, and a lot of times on my supporting listeners group, whatever, I ask for feedback all the time. I ask for feedback on these live streams. People give it to me. Thank you, G. So yeah, I'm receptive to criticism when I'm asking for it, because it's from people who are invested in a literal sense, and also people who at least understand where I'm coming from. And then I'm like, okay, let me hear you out, and then I get more than one opinion. So yeah, it's once you take the red pill and you see the programming. One of my favorite things is when I was doing the audiobook, they said you can change whatever would you date my friend Dan? He begged me to ask. Sorry. Soon can't make knock knock jokes, offends homeless. No, that's an Anne Frank reference. Thanks for the lulls. Thank you, Luke. Are you going to be keeping the Patreon at all? I will be keeping it until I switch to Ruben's thing. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Angel. I'm more of a fallen angel, but you know. One of the things that they said to me when I was doing the audiobook, they said, you can change whatever you want. By the way, there were some typos and they're going to be fixed, so I'm delighted. And one of the things I changed is I refer to The Matrix as a documentary in the book now, in the audiobook. Because it is a documentary. And that is something, and again, I encourage you all to read Camus. Like, he affects me on such an emotional level. I can't tell if it's because it's true or because it just resonates with me. But the point is his idea of the absurd. And his central premise being that the only real moral choice is whether to kill yourself or not. And once you decide not to kill yourself, it's hugely liberating. And you can appreciate the absurdity of life. Who's this? Oh. Albert Camus, French philosopher, who's not an existentialist. He's an absurdist. He was very big on that. So anyway, once you read him, it's so like holy shit. And you read his biography. I'm gonna have to do something on a list of people whose biographies should be read who have profoundly influenced me, and by influenced I mean who are extremely thought provoking. That's gonna be the next live stream when I get this book. So yeah. I have a signed Camus. It was one of the like expensive books I bought. And my friend, I said this before. My friend said to me, "Don't read his fiction. Read his nonfiction. No, 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 no. Don't, the fiction's a waste of time, in my opinion. I don't like his fiction at all. Do not. Um, so yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna have to do a list of people whose lives have profoundly influenced me, or who I think they're. You read their story and it's like, fuck yeah, or this is so interesting. Um, you want to see the signed Camus? I don't know where it is right now. I'll get it in a second. Um, I hate that criticism of universities was cut from the new right. What are you talking about? No, 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 that wasn't cut at all. There's a whole chapter about it. No, 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 that wasn't cut. That was not cut at all. Are you kidding? We have Mencius Moldbug's reference to sending tanks to the Harvard Yard, and I have a whole chapter detailing how the universities have been evil from the early 1900s. It's all in there, baby. Trust and believe. Yeah. Um, and I'm gonna, yeah, so anyway. I guess if those are kind of my thoughts for the weekend. Again, seriously, like I said this in my group, thank you so much for the support, because this is what they're trying to do. If I can't eat, I can't troll, right? So if it wasn't for you guys' support, this would be a very, very different situation. So that's where we are. And the forearm veins are coming in nicely. Patronized. What's your favorite negative reaction to the genocide tweet so far? Thank you, Prashant. My favorite negative reaction was when this was on my Instagram. Can you get Paglia? She didn't reply to my last email, so I don't know. Thank you for my service. My favorite negative reaction, this is on my Instagram, when someone goes, I don't know what beaked species Michael Malice comes from, and we should like kill them all. And I go, the species is Jew. You're advocating the extermination of hook-nosed Jews. And he deleted it really quick, but I got a capture of that. That was my favorite one. Like the irony of it's like one sentence away from them advocating genocide at all times, because that's their totalitarians. Thank you, Joshua. Palia and I have gone back and forth in email several times. You don't know. I'm shocked because when I got all the Candy Darling stuff, her claim to fame, Palia, was sexual persona, androgyny. She's a Warholian, so I thought she'd be like, okay, I got all these Candy Darling relics, and she didn't reply. So, yeah, that's where we are. Why is Nightshade 30 minutes? Because I tape it after Kumia's show. How deliberate do you think John Jr.'s pun was? I don't think it was deliberate, honestly, because savage is a thing online all the time. You guys, if you look at Michael Malice, people saying savage to me, it's thousands. So I don't think that was deliberate, honestly. Trail was. Nightshade's 30 minutes because I tape it after Kumia, who ends at 6, and usually the show's at 8 or whatever, and I can't make it an hour because I'm writing it myself. And you think it's easy to... I guess I'm sitting here and talking my thoughts for an hour, but like the days of the news, finding stuff to do, I sound rushed because I talk quickly. And I also want the pacing, you want to get it in with 30 minutes and not cut stories off. So, yeah. Whew. I'm out of breath. Let me tell you guys more about the book reading process. It was a complete nightmare in this physically. They had me in a locked room, which is, it's like a cell. It's like almost like it's like a square. It was so dry in there that literally, I'm not joking, after reading every single page, I had to take a drink of water. My mouth was getting so dry. I've never had anything like it. I'm sitting here 50 minutes. I'm fine. Every page, I had to take a drink of water. In terms of stamina, I could barely do it. So it was rough. It was very rough, but I got through a third of it in one day. We have 4 sessions set, so just 2 more. So, and it's been really fun reading it out loud. It's been really fun reading it out loud. I'm not gonna lie, and seeing all my jokes. And I'm just sitting there. I had to take my sweater off. The guy, the audio engineer, who's got ironic facial hair, I looked really cool, very Williamsburg. He's like, we've had people come in here and just want to say I'm so happy you're reading your own book. It wasn't even a question. Of course I'm going to read it. It's in the first person. If I used to be very anti-audiobook, and then it clicked in my head. I was talking about this with the audio engineer. And I go, it used to be people taking a drive, jog, gym, they're listening to music or the radio. And now, how great that you're jogging or at the gym and you can listen to a podcast and learn something about yourself or listen to a book. I'm like, it totally opened my eyes. And I've never listened to an audiobook because I have spare time. I like reading and I read very extremely quickly. If it's in the first person and you're buying my product, you sure as fuck want, you know my voice. It's pretty unique. You sure as hell want it in my voice, except when I'm doing Ayn Rand's voice. You know, so yeah, of course I would do it. I would. It would be unconscionable for me to have somebody else do it when it's in the first person. Um, it wasn't even. It was a no-brainer. I can't wait to finish it. I can't wait for you guys to hear it. It's going to be really, really fun. Okay. We're coming up on an hour almost. Oh God, I have work tomorrow. I got work tomorrow. What was I gonna say? I think that's pretty much what I wanted to cover today. Um, yeah. If anyone else has anything else, speak now, forever hold your peace. By the way, yeah, so when that book comes in the mail, I forget where it's coming. Hold on, I'll tell you right now. Okay, let me see this. It's coming. I'll tell you this. This is the book I was asking about on Twitter. Should I buy because it's $100, and someone chipped in, uh, who I will thank, 50 for it. I'm like, all right, now I have to get it. Extremely rare book. And I did some research and learned some stuff about it that's been forgotten to history. So it's going to be here by Tuesday, so I'll do a live stream about it when that happens. How financially beneficial is it to read your own book? I don't know what you mean. I'm not getting paid to read it, certainly. So I don't know one way or another. Does the audiobook come out the same time as the book? I believe so. Jeremy, I sent you something. Did you not get what I mailed to you? I mailed you a special present. And I sure hope you got it. I wouldn't be paying someone else to read it anyway. It would be a publisher. It would not be coming out of my pocket. I don't know if I'm going to leave the stream on. It might go on for the Patreons. I don't know. Oh, I mailed you something special on Monday. I'm surprised. Oh, fuck. I hope it didn't. Is it the same address as? Let me. I'm not. I'm gonna say your. I'm gonna allude to your address. I'm not gonna say it out loud. Um. Yeah, is on Road 66 still? Where do we send proof of purchase to get? It's all the information is on Patreon.com. Uh, if just make is your if your address is Road 66, you know what I'm referring to. That's where I mailed it to. It was a nice surprise. I was surprised you didn't say anything. Um, I don't talk much with any of the You're Welcome guests because I have to do the ad reads and then I. Okay, gotcha, Jeremy. Well, check there then, and then I got to get lunch because I'm starving at that point. It's usually like 2 o'clock. So we didn't really chat that much after. Um, all right, I think that's everything. Um, I will. We got Dave Smith on Tuesday. It's gonna be a fun nightshade tomorrow. That's for sure. And we're going to Philly next. I figured out how to use my gimbal. So next Thursday night, we're heading to Philly. A bunch of us. We're gonna be streaming. Um, and that's gonna be really awesome. I cannot wait for that. And that's thanks to you guys are funding it. So I try to put back as much as I can to the live streams. I've had Tim Pool on. You're welcome. Thank you for unblocking me from commenting on YouTube and for this weekend on Twitter. You are welcome. Thank you for being a good sport. Nicole, should we gift you a humidifier? Me, I don't. Man, that room. Ooh, ooh. Yeah, yeah. It was a. I don't think you can have a humidifier in there because probably all this sensitive recording equipment and stuff. Um, I'm not mad at Drew at all. I'm not mad at Drew at all. Is it going to be cold this week? Is that true? Is that the truth? Let's see. Yeah, it's going to be a little cold this week. Who's fucking texting me? I'm trying to talk to the dear readers. Ah, Buck. Great guy. Great guy. When I was recording, I was reading from a tablet. Like a little, yeah, tablet. All right, I'm going to. Oh god, Tuesday's gonna be so much fun. And next week's Kristen Tate, who's hilarious and a great sport. So, oh, thank you. The weekend is. Thank you, Christine. Thank you very, very much. Oh, Devore is so good. I love him so much. He's such a great guy. I love him. Let me email him right now. I don't have his email address. I only have his Twitter. Let me tweet at him right now. That is such a good idea, guys. Isn't he the best? Um, let me see this. I'm texting. I'm messaging him right now. Are you allowed back on my show in a couple of weeks? It would be a Tuesday at 12:30 for an hour. He's great. Okay, sent. Did I miss anything? Simon. Okay, hey Simon. All right. Let me just check one thing quick. 1 second. 1 second. Bear with me. One second. What are you guys gonna do? What are you guys gonna do when fucking if Don Jr. follows me? I mean, how crazy is that gonna be? I don't know what happens at that point. I don't know what happens at that. Yeah, the internet's gonna end. It's gonna end the internet, and this is all gonna be. You guys are on this ride from the beginning, or for the middle at least. It'll be Tom Wood's email about old interview. Interview with an NPC featuring iconic Iron Man character thermostat. What? I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. I don't understand. What's MYM? I don't know what MYM is. Um, I have no information about my book tour at all. Zero. Can you get Gavin in studio for your welcome? I meet your macros. Oh, I eat my macros every day. That's not an issue. I'm getting my cum gutters in. Um, I'll think about it. Orange. Yeah, I'm gonna be followed by the tangerine. The orange is little orange. uh. All right. Okay, guys. I'm not going to CPAC. I was going to, but then it's like a Thursday through Saturday, which is crazy. Um. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna bounce. The hesitation with Gavin is I am scared of getting on YouTube's radar screen and on the SPLC's radar screen. I'm not gonna lie. So that is a concern. Because again, as I said earlier, if they can't get one person, they're gonna get anyone even remotely around him. So that is the concern. And I'm sure he understands that awful also. And then it becomes, and then it's also, yeah, so that's where we are. Okay. I'm going to talk about the Proud Boys accounts on uh, Nightshade this week. But it's just something to think about. I'm on the fence. And I don't even know that I could ask Gavin half the questions I'd want to ask him because he's in a bad way. If he's at a lawsuit, he's not at liberty to say a lot of things, I don't think. I've actually reached out. I'd rather have his lawyer on. I'd rather have the lawyer on it because the lawyer can talk more freely. Do you know what I mean? And the other thing is, I've met his family. I've met his wife Emily. I've met his kids. It gets to me. So okay, I'm gonna bounce. I guess that's everything. Yeah, Ron. I know whose lawyers. Um, I will talk to you all soon. Thank you again for all the support. Seriously, like, if it wasn't for this, I don't know what I would be doing. It wouldn't be fun, and it wouldn't be as the flame throwing. Um. So yeah, and there's a chapter about Gavin in the book too, and I will be doing his voice. So I'll talk to y'all soon. Hope you've been enjoying the Twitter. I'm sure you have. Um, and onward and upward. Okay.